Today, everyone here is from BCG, NASSCOM, or a startup from all kinds of industries, and they're all trying to answer one crucial question. Does the Indian startup culture breed innovation? Let's see if Sudhir Sayal can get that answer out of them.
A massive software services industry, yet product innovations which you can pretty well count on your fingertips. Is there enough innovation in India? Do Indian startups breed enough innovation? We're here at the NASSCOM Innovation Awards to answer that question. I'm going to start this discussion by handing out to Ashwin. Ashwin, you've been involved with the whole research effort. You've been involved, you've been going through the length and breadth of the country, looking at startups, looking at the innovation. What do you come up with?
So I think there's a whole lot of activity. So that's the good news. And this activity has only been increasing. The innovativeness of that activity has also grown over a period of time, and we've been seeing that over the years. Startups have been innovating. The bad news, if at all there is that there's a whole lot of technological innovation, but technological innovation in a silo cannot mean a successful startup. And where we need, or where there is room for improvement, is business model innovation that will go hand in hand with this technological innovation to make a successful startup.
Great. Venkatesh, you were telling me about how innovation needs to be collaborative. Can you elaborate on his points?
If you look at what innovation means, innovation basically is about creating value. And today, the biggest source of value creation for most firms lies in the linkage of these firms with the other firms. So the linkages become very important, which is why innovation can't be in isolation. It has to be in collaborative innovation where you actually work along with all the other companies, the ecosystem, to produce some value for the customer. That's the only way it can be done.
Fantastic. You talk about ecosystem. Apul lived in San Diego, not too far from Silicon Valley, the forefront of collaborative innovation. Tell us, what is it about that area which makes it bring together the best innovation probably across the world?
I think there are a couple of things that happens there very well. One is definitely, I mean, the best of the minds, of course, they are there, but you've got a lot here too. But the risk-taking initiative, support that comes to you in terms of either funding or in terms of making your idea or taking your idea and really making something out of it.
Shankar, you're sort of heading a research wing for Dow. In your experience here in India, have you seen Indian inventors, or have you seen Indian startups working hard enough on the invention, or is there always this push between revenues and working on your product?
Sure. In terms of, there are two aspects to innovation, as some of them I have already pointed out. One is the quality of the idea itself. How is it a new insight? Is it a great idea? Second is, how successfully are you able to take that to the market? So it's a combination of both. Many times we are good in coming up with a lot of good ideas, but where we need more help is aligning to a specific need and seeing the business potential in that. That's where a lot of help would definitely help.
I'm going to throw this to Ashwin. Ashwin, since you're a part of the infrastructure around a startup, you think the onus is more upon the startup to be innovative or upon the infrastructure to cultivate this innovation?
Well, the startup has to be innovative to start with. Where we are seeing, and to address some of your earlier question, so related to how much effort has gone in before the innovation has actually happened, I was pleasantly surprised to see there's a company called Eka Software which presented during the Hyderabad edition, and they spoke about putting in 3 to 4 years of effort before they actually took the product to market. Now, people who you typically have a lot of people coming out of large firms and putting out startups, and they want instant success, and it doesn't happen that way. Sometimes you need to put in your research, you need to work towards building your product and understanding who you're going to target, acquire information before you do all of that. So there's a whole lot of that the startup needs to do. On the other hand, infrastructure is also required, and where it is required is to be able to sometimes show some of these startups the right path. And we need more and more people who are industry experts, who monetize products, whether within a large company or in a startup, to be able to be role models for other startups.
So I'm going to throw this to Venkatesh. Venkatesh, you being a professor at IIT Bombay, you co-founded Saskin, which is now 6,000 employees. right? So it's clearly a success story, and it's worked on fields very closely related to innovation. You were also talking about how the infrastructure needs help. Which specific parts of infrastructure need improvement?
Getting an idea, inventing an idea, finding a technology, like Shankar put it, is the easy part actually. Getting this into a commercially valid proposition which has sustainability and predictability and making a business model out of it basically is the hard part. Now what happens I guess in the West is that the infrastructure for doing business is so very well established. Everything is so well streamlined that taking an innovation into the market is a reasonably smooth process. Okay, it's possible to do that very easily. And because that process is smooth, people are willing to bet on that invention. They're willing to stake their money on it. In India, that process is still not ironed out. So it's not very clear that if you take an idea, how do we put it into the market? How do we find the customer? Which channel will we use? Who will be the enabling infrastructure? Where we will get the finances? Where we will raise the money? All these channels have to be discovered. The entrepreneur is often running from pillar to post.
It's not really R&D problem. There are enough innovations in this country is what you feel.
I mean, I think at the basic level, the ground level, India is much more innovative than the many other countries. I would say.
I'm going to throw that to you.
Sure, sure.
Would you agree with that?
Definitely, I would agree with that.
Okay.
Because I have spent the last 12, 13 years in R&D setup looking at very, very excellent ideas, very inventive ones, and trying to see how I can get innovation out of those.
What happens to them?
So really, what I see is, you start with the idea, then typically there are 4 critical things that each person who gave idea has to do. If he misses on either one of these 4, it's not going to land up as an innovation. One is basically focusing on the need, which we have talked about earlier. So that's where the opportunity is. Second is having focus, you should be able to quickly escape from the current paradigms and think fresh. That's also a very challenging stuff. The third and the fourth, we talked about focus and escape. The third is basically aligning. Having come up with a new out-of-the-box idea, you should work on it further to align it with the need. That never happens in many situations. And having aligned, the fourth is to move out quickly. You know that every technology has a finite life, and then something else is going to happen after that. So before that happens, we should be able to move out on to the next technology, start working on that. So focus, escape, align, and move. You need to do all 4 correctly. If you miss out on any one of this, it's not going to become an innovation.
We also have in our midst a venture capitalist, which is Ashwin, because he's also part of the NASSCOM Innovation Fund. How much of half venture capitalist, he's correcting me. But how much of this is because you were also making the point earlier that there isn't enough early stage funding, and it's something that's been repeated a lot on our show. How much of it, according to you, is a capital problem?
It is. There is a lack of early stage funding, and various people have various notions of what is early stage, and I think there aren't enough funds which cater to that gap. Which is precisely why we at NASSCOM put out the India Innovation Fund. And these guys with ideas then put out these early companies which are at the early stage. How many of them are dying at that early stage? And how many of them are dying due to the fact that there isn't capital plus mentorship at the early stage? So when we're saying early stage capital, it needs to be institutional capital, which also provides this mentorship at the early stage, so that these guys can then become VC ready and attractive to typical venture capitalists who are looking for very high returns.
So I'm going to end this discussion with one simple question. There's one thing you'd like to change for Indian startups to become more innovative. What would it be? And I'm going to start off with Shankar, and you can only choose one.
Sure. The risk-taking attitude. Encourage them to take risk and make a few mistakes. It's okay.
Ashwin.
I think scale, and so we have a little bit of funding. We have some mentors. We need to scale this up and rapidly scale it up.
Apul?
Dare to think big. I mean, I think you could be the next Google or Microsoft, so don't think that that's different. I mean, you could do it if you could think right and if you could apply your skills to it.
Professor?
I agree. I mean, thinking big is...
So come up with your own, Professor.
No, thinking big is the thing. You believe, actually. You have to believe. I think that's the most important thing. You got to believe that you can succeed. And I think this country itself is getting used to this idea that we are starting to believe in ourselves.
Great. I'd like to thank all of you. It's time to think big. Clearly, that's the message over here. That's it from this panel discussion at the NASSCOM Innovation Awards.